Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm back with one more simple and effective application which is going to show you the way to host high performing large language models on your own instances and consume in your client facing application rather than relying on third party providers and their APIs and restricting to their limitations. So enough talking, let me quickly give a quick view of how this is going to look like. So opening the application. So the application is listen not. So I just took one use case here, transcribing audio in minutes with a very popular OpenAI's open source model Whisper V3, which is going to help us convert audio into transcriptions. Either be it you can use it as a subtitles for your video or a transcription for your podcast audios and other stuffs. So this is the simple landing page of our application that we are going to build. So it is pretty self-explanatory. This is the application which is going to help you transcribe audio in minutes with the Whisper version 3 along with the Flash Attention version 2. Which is going to help us make this model super fast and give us the result in a quick amount of time than it is expected. So this is the simple home page, and here just the two tabs which is going to give you detailed steps. How do you deploy on Modal? So that's the place where we will be deploying our Whisper V3 model as a service, and then we'll be consuming in our application. So Modal is a pretty exciting platform which is going to help us deploy this kind of models in a very effective GPUs. So we doesn't have to worry about scaling our infrastructure or managing our own infrastructure. This is a serverless platform especially to deploy such a large language models, AI models and all, so that we delegate the core infrastructure management related tasks to this. And it is very cheap because we are going to be charged only for the amount of the time that we are going to run the model on their instances. So this is pretty self-explanatory, and very detailed instructions are drafted in their documentations. So I'm not going to go into too much details of this. While we are building, I'm going to walk you through what is needed for us to build this application. If you want, you can just go and see more information about this on their official websites, blogs and docs. It is properly documented and they have provided enough examples how to get started with. So that is the infrastructure that we'll be using. So this is smart enough to deploy the models on the necessary GPU. So you doesn't have to know much details about GPUs, A100s, H100s, what does the abilities and all. This is going to take care. So that's the place where we are going to deploy, and this is the detailed code, and there is a certain jargon needs to be followed in order to deploy on the platform. If we are used to Python or code bases and writing code in Python, that's very easy. So this is the code that we'll be writing to use the NVIDIA CUDA image and install our own necessary packages in order to run this Whisper version 3 along with Flash Attention version 2 model, which is going to help us generate the transcript. I'm going to walk you through this code very detailedly when we are building this. This is just the showcasing preview of the application that we'll be building. So these are the instructions that needs to be followed in order to deploy a model. And okay, so if you doesn't want to deploy in Modal but you still wanted to deploy run locally, so again these are the instructions where we can install this Fast Whisper package and then accordingly follow this instruction. We should be good to go. Okay, so this is the thing. So if you wanted to host yourself, these are the steps that you need to follow. Fine. So let's quickly take one example and see how this is going to look. Okay, so to try it out, it's going to help us navigate to try it page. This is where we upload any audio files, be it your audio of your podcast or audio of your YouTube video or anything, a song or whatever. Okay, so I'm just going to take one example in here. So I have just taken one audio output of one of my YouTube video, organized simple playlist. You guys might have already seen it. Okay, so this is the the audio that I have just uploaded. So I'll just play a few seconds so that this is the audio that I'm uploading. Okay,
Hello, welcome back, baby.
okay, so this is the audio, so we can just see what is this. We can listen to it, and then okay, fine. And so on which GPU are we going to run, and these are the infrastructure related details. If you're curious, you can just get to learn about it on their Modal documentation, or just Google it. Okay, so once I click on send it, so whatever the service that we are going to post on Modal via FastAPI framework, which I am very used to. So once we consume the service deployed on Modal, we are going to call on clicking this send it button. So once I click on send it button, it's going to pass on this audio file to that service, and then pass on to that Whisper version 3 model to generate transcript for our audio file. So it is going to give us the end result that I'm going to show you in a while. So it's processing. Let's just wait for a while. So post processing, we are going to receive in a URL where we can navigate, and that's where we will see the end result. That is the overall text of our audio, and also the timestamps along with the text for that timestamp, and overall JSON object of all our transcription. Okay, so this is the URL. So let's just navigate to this URL. So this is the polling. I am polling to get the result. So since this might take some time, so we keep polling to the server and ensure that once the result is ready, we immediately see that on our screen. So it is going to take a bit while. So let's wait for it. And then yeah, so since we were polling, we were calling the server at an interval of, let's say 10 seconds or 5 seconds, depending upon the number of calls that we wanted to make. So you can see here clearly we ran this model on this NVIDIA 18G GPU instances, and it took 22 seconds, which is insane, correct? So this gave us the complete, and the accuracy rate is very high. We rarely see the misspell of what we spoke in our audio. Okay, so these are the timestamps that we got from the Whisper version 3 model. So you can just see this is pretty simple. Okay, and this is the overall text that we got from that model, and these are the timestamps and the text for each timestamp and the JSON. So this is the overall JSON that we received from that model. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about. So give you enough details to get yourself started, to not to rely on third-party providers, and become self-independent, even to host a super high-performing models, and then just solve your use cases. So this is the application, and hope you guys liked it. And just follow this videos. I'm going to show you how to build this from scratch, and this is going to be pretty exciting. You will learn a lot from this, and I hope you will stay tuned. Thank you so much.